Hey everybody, this is Bob Wood with Team Ambrose Wood. I've got Andrew Ambrose on teleconference with me right now, and we just wanted to take a few minutes and talk about what's going on down here in the Lower Keys in regards to this coronavirus, how it's affecting people personally, and how we see it affecting the real estate market. So let's have a little bit of conversation about that. Andrew, from a personal standpoint, obviously everyone's being socially distant right now, which is strange. Because you go out walking around town or riding bikes down Duval Street and there's just nobody out there. And have you been out at all?
I'll say hi, Bob. How you doing? Hope you're holding up well with you and Jim. Everything's going great. We're doing okay. I got my mum staying with me right now. The kids are self-isolating after their couple of weeks up in Los Angeles, so they're back right now. But they're doing their right cordial duty of staying secure away from everybody else, including me and everybody else.
Yeah.
Looking around, it's a very surreal time. It's absolutely beautiful down here. It's literally the peak favorite incredible time of the year to be in Key West. March, it's perfect weather, 81 degrees every single day.
Yeah,
taking nice afternoon bike rides everywhere I go, and it's just tragic that under the circumstances, but I'm just thinking on the positive that it's only going to be for a couple more weeks and possibly a month. Who knows? But hopefully quicker rather than longer.
Yeah, I know the longer this thing drags on, the worse it's going to get. You got a lot of people who are not working right now, and how the island always does. We're pulling together while keeping apart. So I've seen a lot of efforts. The Star of the Sea is taking down donations. What's the other one? Florida Keys Outreach Coalition. And I've even seen people on Facebook that are, pulling together efforts to buy gift certificates from local restaurants that are doing carryout so they can give them to people eventually who might need to eat. Yeah, which is cool. That's Key West in a nutshell.
Well, yeah. For people that don't know Key West as well as Bob and I do, we have an amazing community here, probably a place I've never ever lived in such as this, where we literally know everybody from the chief of police to the mayor to the guy that delivers your mail. We know these people on a personal one-on-one basis, whether we know them as first name terms, and that's the beauty of living in the Keys. It's just amazing, and I think people are really kind of holding things together right now.
Yeah,
it's a leveler for everybody. There's a lot of money in this town. There's lots of rich people. There's lots of people that are living paycheck to paycheck who work in the service industry, and people are really kind of pulling all the stops. Most of the restaurants are pretty much donated their food to their employees, or they've given it to charities.
That's great.
Nobody's holding back. Everybody's really kind of like, it's funny. We're all staying away from each other, but we're all digging in together.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And, obviously with hurricanes and stuff, we've been through situations where we've experienced the island being pretty slow from a tourism standpoint, but I've never seen anything like this because even, they've shut down all the beaches, they've shut down all the attractions, they've put a great big tarp over the southernmost buoy so that people won't try and get pictures with it because, people still are out there and denying the fact that this virus is going around.
There's always going to be that certain percentile of people that really don't know how to not necessarily follow orders, but just be educated enough to stay indoors. And that's everywhere. I speak to friends all over the world. Yeah. Whether it's the UK or Australia, people are, there's always going to be the people out there that just don't really kind of do anything as it should until they're actually, it affects them. Until suddenly they're coughing and sneezing and they're off to the doctors. But the majority, I say pretty much everybody's pretty much being conscious of what we're doing, staying the usual 6 feet apart.
I think right now probably the worst job to have is mayor of Key West because Terry has just been beaten up, first for not doing enough, and then
damned if you do.
Yeah, damned if you do and damned if you don't. Yeah. And but I think personally I think that she's done the right things. Shutting down and getting everybody off the island because we were in a little spring break. And let's face it, spring breakers don't have a lot of common sense because they come down here for one thing, that's to party and drink. And it was good to shut down the industry and send them on their way. Yeah. So
as
kudos
you said,
to her.
I mean, she did it at the right time. Obviously, in hindsight, you can look back and say, well, we should have done this days in advance. But it's so easy to say that from a perspective when you're not actually making the decisions because people still have businesses to run. I think they've done as well as they could.
Yeah.
I'm not hearing as many planes coming in today as I have. So I'm assuming that pretty much the tourists have stayed away and doing as they're told and having no ability to come in. But we'll see. Hopefully it's going to be one of those things. It's going to be going as quick as it came in, because it seems to, it just seems shocking. It's only been 6 days and we're in the circumstances now, but we have to look positive about everything, you know. It's still absolutely amazing place. I look around, it's just mind-boggling to think there's anything going on in the world.
Yeah, I hear you loud and clear. So let's talk a little bit about real estate and how we're going to deal with this, because obviously you know, we don't have buyers coming down here. We rely on tourism for people to come down, fall in love with Key West, and to buy a property. So it's obviously, I can't sit here and tell people that, hey, we're doing great and, you know, come on down or buy virtually or whatever, because the reality is that you can't come down and look at properties. You can't really touch and feel anything at this point. So yeah, real estate has slowed down a shitload. Pardon my English there, or French. So, but what we can do is at least keep our contacts and our leads apprised of what's on the market, do things virtually. If somebody's really interested in a property, we can obviously do FaceTime or Skype, or you know, just go in and video it for them and send it to them so they can take a look at it. Aside from that, you know, open houses can be done on a virtual basis, but hosting open houses right now is kind of being discouraged by the Florida Association of Realtors. And if you do with them, you know, they want you to follow the CDC guidelines for keeping everybody safe. And then, you know, it doesn't really promote for a real welcoming open house, in my opinion. I don't know what you think about that.
No, I think it's obviously it's going to be a challenge. I mean, anybody who's going to invest a considerable, well, their biggest investment of their life in property, you know, obviously wants to, you know, have some kind of connection with it. It's going to be, you know, obviously a challenge to try and show people properties, even though the technology we have, it's still going to be very much a challenge. I think you can definitely say the positives, if there are positives, which obviously there has to be. It's going to be a buyer's market, without a doubt.
Yep.
It's definitely going to be an opportunity where I imagine value of properties will be going down considerably.
Yeah. There's going to be opportunities here in the not so distant future, I think, for people to buy some things that they couldn't have bought, you know, 6 months ago, just because the
economy is obviously very fickle, and it's hard to predict 100%. If we did, we'd all be millionaires. But I think like the things of these days move in so quickly, that everything moves such a rapid pace, more than they ever have. And just in reality, I think there'll be an opportunity to get a great property at a great price. Yeah. And I think it will rebound very quickly, like it has. It won't be one of those 18-month periods of time where it has to come back. I think the economy will come back quicker. But I think there'll be definitely a window of opportunity for people that want to cash out, and there's opportunity for people who want to get invested.
Right, right. Because, you know, the reality is that the longer the hardship goes on, the more foreclosures and short sales I think we're going to see coming on the market. Those are opportunities for investors and people who still have funds available to go out and buy properties. So we'll do what we do, and we'll keep our eyes out open for that stuff and send it out and make sure people are aware of it, so that if there is an opportunity, they can act on it, right?
Yeah, and obviously look at the fact that the interest rate record level low right now. Borrowing is going to be out there. Mortgage rates are going to be going good price for us. It's going to be a good time to get pre-approval anyway. You know, the government's going to do things to make people stimulate economy. It's just how things work.
Because even after this thing, you know, finally blows over and we start to bring things back, people will be cautious. So you're right. The government will more than likely do things to try and stimulate the economy and get people spending money again. So we can only speculate at this point, but I feel pretty confident that that'll probably happen.
Yeah, I definitely feel the same way as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anything else you want to touch on, or are we?
No, I think that's good. I hope everything's good with you. And
yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I mean, I
going
would love to
crazy
swing
yet.
by and say, I would love to come swing by and say hi, but I don't think that's wise. I mean, I feel fine, and I'm sure you feel fine. But I mean, imagine you're pretty self-isolated right now as well, right? You're
Pretty much.
I'm only time I'm ever out is literally going to Winn-Dixie or Publix. I mean, I kind of Publix. I'm just sticking on Winn-Dixie right now because less people to be mixed around with.
Yeah. One of my clients said, Bob, he says, you should do a blog, a video blog on living in Key West or living in the Lower Keys and, stuff that you need to know about. And so over time, I'm planning on doing sessions about like handling ROGOs or BPAS, which is the property allocation system here in Key West, dealing with HARC, the Historic Architectural Review Committee, dealing with the Tree Commission, building on vacant land. A lot of people think, I can just buy a piece of property down here and build a house on it. No, it's not that easy.
All right, buddy.
Bye, Ben.